the Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.
Welcome, everybody, to Banana and Bears Rugby Podcast, where we are the premium podcast for bringing you all things rugby related here in Ireland. I'm joined by a pure and utter faker, Thomas Ramos, the kind of Mexican-looking, unbelievable French fullback. How you keeping? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm grand. I'm grand. I'm just busy recovering from my weekend of like shattering two nations' dreams. Really.
Yeah. Well, you weren't alone in that, in all fairness to you. Like,
I wasn't.
you have a job to do. You're one of the best in the world, and fair play to you.
Oh God.
Proper.
I was trying to manifest, when he was like stepping up. I was like, he has to miss one sometimes. This is going to be it. This is such a French thing. Like he's just going to step up and miss this one. And I just knew. Like, you're just looking at him and he's just so calm and composed. And there's just so many people losing their shit. And bang, straight through the post. I was like, oh, you
There's
fecker.
bits of him where I don't even think he's overly French. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's just rock solid all the time. Like, he doesn't seem to, it doesn't seem to waver. Like, even Maro told you was up in his grill, pointing here, this way and that way. I thought nearly he was going to get another 10 meters because of the shithousery out of Maro. But your man just standing there. Anybody else would be going, "Arra, fuck off." Nah, he just stood there, and he kicked the ball. And yeah, that pouty face that French people do brilliantly.
But it's like this. But it's the sound as well. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can't. Yeah, well, we got it actually in translation there. That means couldn't give a fuck.
Literally, but
Yeah,
it's genuinely like part of the vocabulary. I don't know how you'd spell it, but
I
like,
think I think it's the same as in the same way Irish people can fit in the sound. Do you know, like oh. Yeah, exactly. In the same way. Or
yeah, no chat GPT can mimic that.
no, see, there you are. That's where AI will fail. It will be one of the last bastions, France and Ireland, for old scuttery talk. Where did you watch? We'll start backwards. Where did you watch that match?
I was in Dublin. I went up to Dublin for the day, and we hung around Donnybrook for a little bit. Or sorry, not Donnybrook. Balls Bridge for a bit to like, soak up the atmosphere, and then we walked over to the Vintage in Irish Town.
Yes.
Oh, we had a great time. And actually, we're talking about kind of going somewhere else, and we just stayed there. It was really good crack and really good crowd, and like the rugby was just unreal. And it actually, as much as I was giving out about like the late kickoff, now it could have been slightly earlier,
I bet,
but
yeah.
the bit of break in between was good too.
I got to watch in a great environment. I got to watch.
Go on.
I got to watch the makings of the Welsh Italian match in Coughlan's, or Collins as they call it, on, and then myself and my whole audience walked into the venue from there, did the show. Donald McSweeney from West Cork opened for me. We had a great show. Out at the break, just saw the French match kicking off. A load of French lads inside in the beer garden, as how the boys. Everybody back in, did the show. I'm calling it a standing ovation. It was a standing ovation. We all went back.
Unreal.
We all went back out and caught the last 25 minutes of the England French match. So I watched it, watched loads of rugby with loads, and then told some jokes in between. So it was great. It was great crack. I'm doing Galway this weekend in the theatre in Town Hall, and I don't think we'll get the same. I don't think we'll get, well, unless we play the Munster match a bit earlier in the evening. But it was class. It was, and do you know what happened? I went pure. I maybe it's just me being an arrogant. No, not arrogant, but just an argumentative old bastard. Everybody roaring for England. I couldn't do it. I was happy with our second place. I was happy with our second. I'd rested with our second place because we played so well, and all my worries from the previous week that I was saying, I don't know, we haven't really shown that we are. And I said, by the end of the Scottish match, we'll know. And that brings up all the other performances building towards this one. So I was sitting there with my arms folded. Now, I was in a very happy place. I just had done a lovely show for these lovely people. But still, I was going, no, kick it away to fuck, Ramos. I couldn't care. Couldn't care. Couldn't give a fuck. I tell you now, if we played you now, we'd bait you. Do you know that? That's the way I was. I was going, we'll take second place. Sure, there's maybe 2 million euros has gone missing as a result of your kick, you bastard. But no, I was happy to take it. I just couldn't cheer for England, nor did I want to win it as a result of some fella failing. Do you know the kind of way in another country? I was like, not at all, not at all. We'll take it. We'll take what we got.
Fair enough. I wasn't. I was shouting for England.
Everybody, to be fair, I'm the weirdo. Everybody around me was going, what the fuck, you stupid. It was the weirdest thing. I've never, like, if you shouted at your child like that on the pitch, like they really wanted them to win, but everything was, you stupid bastard.
That was exactly it. You useless bastards. Everyone, like, all over social media and everything was like cheering on, oh, you fuckers. Like, come on, you bastards. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it was very enjoyable.
A very dysfunctional relationship, like with like a sibling or something. Like, come on, you cunt, will you just fucking do it for us and Mammy, will you? For God's sake. Just, I don't even like you, but come on, just do it, will you? It was, it was. But sure, I mean, it's the tournament that just kept, like, better than any World Cup. Any World Cup. For fucking flip-floppy drama, back and forth. I mean, everything from us running around with our pants around our ankles, not knowing what to do with ourselves on the first day, to building and then putting out that performance. Then Wales, as which we said, we were fucking delighted. Like, everybody, I think even England can look up a little bit after that game. They can kind of go, okay, we do have it in the locker. We had the fucking baiting of them, but we didn't have the nous. I hate that word, but loads of people use it. But we didn't have the cop on to finish it out fucking right. Like, just cop on. What are you doing? Kicking it? What are you?
Who are you talking about? England there?
England, yeah. It's just like
you said we.
Did I say
you were
God.
worse than Jesse Buckley.
Oh Jesus, I know, yeah.
It's Mother's Day in the UK.
Oh, yeah. I know. You just and then she tried to paper over that big giant gaping hole by going.
Oh, the crazy.
Slán will you? Gur míle maith agat.
You want to spoil her Colleen Bunyan?
We'll get a going dulgdy on. Leras.
Oh, Gommel, so spare.
But yeah, it had had they had some bit of cop on, but to be fair to England, they were like the dog that had seen the gate for the first time in a year. They didn't know what way to run when they finally did get out ahead. Like, they didn't know how to close out the fucking game. Then, of course, France do have Biel, who, what the fuck, like?
But, like, if you were able to beat France on a night where Biel is up to those kind of tricks, like, that's a deserved win. I don't care how you play.
True.
You know,
true.
If you're able to contain a performance like that, like how close they were. Like, if some of the stuff they produced was class, and like who knows kind of where it came from. But I was happy for them, like just happy for the tournament in general, like with that, like the fact that the tournament came down to the last kick.
The last kick into the 80th minute. The Ireland lads must have their foot on the bus going back to the state. They must have one leg on the bus, like, do you know what I mean?
They stayed in the stadium.
Oh, did they? Right.
Yeah. So, they had to stay in the stadium. So I don't know what would have happened with the replica trophy. Apparently there was like helicopters like waiting to bring it back over. So, but sure, they could have just, it was a replica anyway. So they could have just picked one up from like the Euro store, and just put a sticker on the front of it. Sure, I'd be just as happy with that.
I think that would be one of the funniest things ever if they had like, do you ever see like we're recording on St. Patrick's evening, but like when you see St. Patrick's Day parades and they've done a replica of a cup. whether it be like Sam Maguire or whatever, and it's just a plastic flower pot sprayed silver, and they've
It's paper
yeah,
mache like.
or paper mache. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would have. Do you know what? Nothing would have been funnier to me than if they did that. They just went, ah, fuck it. We'll just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I,
know, but sure, it's like that Kanye West thing. It's like everybody would want to know what would happen if we had to transport the replica Six Nations trophy back to Dublin. I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. It's I'd still it's mad in one way how France have flip flopped. They've leaked about fucking 15 tries in the last two matches, like or something mental. It was something mental. But as you always say,
As I always say, but also something we haven't put too much emphasis on. We spoke about it in bits and pieces, but just mentality and being scared and being like, so scared of your reputation, whereas actually they were a bit more relaxed, like there's just different kind of instincts that like produces in you, and it doesn't matter how much you try to prep yourself for something. If you're feeling comfortable, you can enjoy playing, but fear gives you so much. But in terms of like those dying moments again, if we're talking about the last kick, like what about Ollie Chesham not running under the post,
where was his head at? Like,
putting
he,
his hand up in the air? I'm sorry. Like, what are you doing? And like, I guess you might have been worried, but that someone was close to you, but come on, you could have a quick look over your shoulder and even fall over the line closer to the post. I was saying, Finn Smith missed the kick because he was so pissed off.
I'm not even going to kick this now. What?
Yeah, I would have missed it. What about Finn Smith's drop goal though?
Oh,
That was unbelievable.
do you know, like, it's again, you talk about mentality all inside his head where he's lying, and I'll probably kick 100 of 100 of them in training. But when the pressure came on and the nappy was about to be filled as it fell off the tee, Eric, fuck it, bang. Do you know, no thought. No
It was
thought.
stunning.
I was half thinking, do the rest of them like that, Finn. Don't bother with the fucking tee. Just fucking drop.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can.
yeah, yeah.
For anybody wondering you can drop kick them. You can drop kick them if you want. It's a bit disrespectful. Sometimes you see lads doing it right in front of the post, like on air. Fuck it, here we go.
Yeah, if they're doing it quickly or they just want to get on with the game. But like it used to happen a lot more in the women's game when there were more of the full-time players coming from the sevens side. Um,
Ah,
so because obviously in sevens you have to drop kick. So, but you see it less and less now. So yeah, it's a funny one. But then, what about so? Oh yeah, this is what we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about two things. How do we get rid of them playing Sweet Caroline in the stadium? Number one.
yep.
And how do we get rid of the box kick?
First, I need to address. Did
Oh,
you? I text you and you didn't reply to me, which I thought was kind of funny as well. But you we were talking before. You're like, what the fuck are you on about horses?
yeah.
The horses, Anna. Was there need in the horses bringing them up? I mean, I like a bit of showmanship, like.
Of course there was.
Well, I wouldn't stop there though. I would have them as winged horses, and I would send them in on paragliders.
I thought they had wings, no?
Ah, I just had a couple of knights sitting on the back, like.
But they were in like they were pure dressed up and everything. I thought it was unbelievable. I thought it was class.
I wanted to
And it was,
see Biel
yeah.
Berry's foot get caught in one of those horse holes that he left. If they left it on.
Yeah. But it's some operation,
Oh my
like to put out
god!
all that equipment and all of the performance. It's like fucking Bad Bunny's halftime show,
Well, it's
Super Bowl.
Do you know what? The last thing you would ever think that's going to be going into preparation before a Six Nations match is, have we got the horses? What?
Well,
What?
yeah. Well, the people who were concerned with that, I'd say they didn't even watch the match afterwards. They were so like delighted, patting themselves on the back. So that's their match. And then the rugby comes on. They're like, "Well, forget the rugby. It's our glory is done." But I'd say, do you know what I've never smelt on a match day is horse manure.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know
yeah.
You can smell. There's a lot of smells, right?
Do you know what? I was only talking and I was going to wait till the end of the podcast. Actually, do you know what? We'll come back to the smell of manure in a minute, which you brought up a couple of episodes ago. But yeah, you go ahead. Sorry. I will remind myself of that.
Write it down there because after skipping between
Here we
about four
are.
or five teams here in
I
the
know. I know. We're very excited.
but the smell of burger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like is especially when like we used to play in Energia and obviously the women's game is growing more and more and as the game grows more and more the further you get from the burger stand.
That's how you know your things, the
That's how
profile
you
is.
know you've made it. You can't smell burger anymore. You're smelling horse shit.
Now you know
So,
you're into classy setup when it's not the smell of fucking raw onions and greasy burgers anymore
oh
and
my God,
smoke.
how it used to make my stomach turn. Oh my God, it was horrific.
And now it's just the smell of fireworks and fucking horse shit. Now you
Can,
know.
um, can we go back to the box kick, or do we have more to cover on the? Oh, sorry, there is one more thing to cover on the kind of the occasion of the
Mm,
crunch.
yeah.
Is that everyone was like, wow, about the opening and the horses and the anthems and it was class. Next thing, the jerseys looked stunning in the lineup and everyone looked at. Next thing, the camera zooms out and you're like, they're wearing the same color
I know.
jersey.
I know. Like, and they left him wear white shorts as well. It was like, ah, lads.
No, France had red shorts.
I don't think, did they?
Oh, they
I
had red socks, maybe
They've
red
red
socks. Sorry,
state, yeah, because it was like
sorry.
because Ireland and Wales can't even wear green and red against each other, like they
No.
flip because
And
of
there was
colorblind people.
it's
Eh,
actually such a good point. There was all this like media, like red and green band, la la la, like trying to sensationalize it. Next thing, two of the teams in the final game come out wearing the same color fucking jersey. Oh,
Powder baby blue and fucking white shorts against white and fucking white shorts. Like, yeah, Jesus, yeah,
it was very bad. Like you could really only distinguish when you zoomed in. Now I just in general, obviously rugby is a lot easier because you've got your offside lines. But like
yes.
when those lines are blurred, you need to know who is out of position. I just thought it was so funny. The big fuss and Le Crunch, 120 years, like so good. And then they cut the jersey, and there was so much made of the jersey as well, which was stunning.
Yeah,
And did you
class.
see like load of influencers were sent like the jersey? Did you see any of them opening up the jersey? How it was boxed?
No, you see, I don't. None of that. Those kind of people show up in my algorithm. Thank God. No, I
But like
don't.
rugby
No,
people,
I
like
get I get almost no rugby. I get the rugby guy and a handful of others show up, but really I don't really see the. I'd see snapshots from podcasts.
yeah.
But tell
But
me what? How did they present it?
in a big tin of beans.
What?
The jersey was sent in a big tin of beans.
What? Oh, that's what?
I
Like,
don't
why
know.
not send it in a cigarette pack altogether? What are these fuckers doing?
Because
Like,
because that's a pure English thing, according to the French.
oh,
Do you know? They'd be like, "Oh, les haricots!"
oh.
Like,
So beans. They're such philistines when it comes to food, is what they're saying. Is that
yeah, 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 yeah.
you
It
consider
was
an
such a
oh my God.
such a
Oh my
backhanded slag. Like, here you go, you can have your tin of beans.
oh my God. That's so fucking French. That is so psychologically fucking rude. Wow, the French. That's amazing to hear.
Funny,
That's
yeah.
brilliant. And did they have to actually crank it open with a can opener like?
I didn't see any can openers. No, I don't
Uh-uh.
think it was tin.
That would have been a way to do it. Make them have to wind like
Mm,
700 fucking
yeah.
winds all the way
But
around.
then you'd rip the jersey, bring it out, maybe.
Eh.
Eh. If people have captions on the video, let us know how they've spelled. Um, can we go back to the box kick, or do we have anything
Yeah,
else to
yeah.
add?
I'm sure there's more that will pop into my head. The only thing I would say is there was no mistaking Ollie, the likes of Ollie Chesham when he goes off in a canter, big foxy fucking head in him. Like you're not going to think he's French at all. Like,
It was beautiful.
And mate, like the pace of him, but his brain didn't catch up with his legs. That was the problem, I think. He left his brain still 10 yards behind him because his legs motored. And
I'm
then,
sorry. I'm sorry, but believe in your brain. Like, I'm sorry. Like no, I don't accept that.
okay, I'm just
I
trying
I
to.
just think, okay, fine, fair enough. Okay, your brain can't catch up with you. I understand that in terms of maybe the score line, because for me, maths and numbers are very difficult. And if I was running up, I'd have to like look at the scoreboard and like put the ball in one hand and like count on my fingers on the other hand just to make sure that I knew I was going ahead. So maybe mathematically he thought that this was going to put them ahead. But even at the same time, it doesn't matter what stage of them. You
No.
always, when you have the space, especially in a match like that where the result will like, well, not like he was thinking of Ireland, but like, I just don't get that at all. I'm sorry. How long has he been playing rugby? If you did that at under eights, you'd get in trouble.
You would, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we'll go. Sorry for digressing. We'll go back to the box kicks. You have enough of these fucking box kicks. You have.
There was 78 minutes and 20 seconds, something like that on the clock, when England decided to box kick it back to France.
I know. I know. I know. Yeah. You can. I
Okay,
cannot.
so sorry, go ahead.
I can. Yeah. I cannot believe that that is still programmed into you to go statistically. This is what we need to do. We need to do. I can't wrap my head around it. Where you wouldn't go. Okay, clock. Look up the clock. Or have somebody down the sideline going, up the fucking jersey, boys. Keep it up the fucking jersey. Maul it if you can. Do whatever you can to hang on to the fucking ball. Like, if you're going to kick it, boot it out down into their corner. Do you know what I mean? Put them backwards at least, like,
Exactly, not this contestable short stuff.
against
Um,
a team that are really good at that.
exactly, like boot it away and keep them down there. And even if you do give away a penalty, there's a lot more work for France to do. I suppose I'm just wondering about the conversation they would have had in camp. Would they have said, right, these are full-time players now. They have
Mm.
these conversations. Even in their clubs, they'd have these conversations. Like, do in the dying minutes, and depending on the situation, your regular game plan will not apply.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to. It has to be that way.
And so it's not just the nine that's calling this now either. This is automatic because what's it called?
The caterpillar.
Caterpillar is being built instinctively. Surely there has to be someone like, yeah, even if it's a water boy on the side telling them stop, and you can change your mind. You can change. You don't have to commit. Actually, why don't you just construct the caterpillar and then just tip it on anyway to waste even more seconds?
I think that would actually be a great move, is to create the caterpillar, feign, then off with you.
Pop it up.
And pop it up. Do you know what? It's interesting you say that. Was there nobody fucking talking to him? One, I think whatever the camera seemed to, or maybe it was just in that position during the Ireland match. And we'll get onto the Ireland thing in a minute, but I noticed that Jack Crowley was, and he was for a lot of the time behind rucks and stuff. He was barking what was happening behind. You could really see it. The camera was really picking up on it, barking which way to move as Gibson Park's head was down for that split second at the back of the ruck. And he was telling him left, right, hit who, this. So he had, by the time he didn't even have to bring his head up. He was just able to lash it out on instruction. But there seemed to
That's what
be
you want.
there seemed to be nobody doing that for England.
That message should be coming ideally from your 13 who can read even better, or your 15 who can read even better. Get the message to your 10, and yeah, get the 10 to make those decisions. Like, but also when you don't watch the game on wide angle all the time, you can't tell who's really in charge. But this looks like such an instinctive thing. We're not, we're getting rid of the ball. We're not playing around here. I was so flabbergasted that I was actually fuming that you couldn't trust your attack for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
How much money do you make? All of you, coaches,
Yeah.
physios, nutritionists, and you can't trust your attack for 1 minute and 40 seconds. I suppose, is there a conversation there that, like, when the game's in the balance that much, are they, do they think that the referee will just give a penalty for going off your feet, essentially,
Jesus
in
Christ.
attack?
I mean, something like
And
that.
now, so we'll get to the actual penalty that was given away, but like tighten up, fall straight away. Like, is that not a skill that you've practiced? Like, I just couldn't understand the amount of time that was on the clock and the decision to box kick. I was raging. And I pissed off two grannies that were sitting very close to us because I was like, "You fucking idiot!" I felt really bad
Had you
afterwards,
turned
and
into had you turned into that Welsh one from the week previous? Fucking
I
do
was
something.
I was worse than her. I was worse than the Welsh one. Fucking do something. Yeah. So I just and then and then bang turnover into Pollock's hands. He's running
Oh,
away and
Jesus.
oh
Oh,
my
Jesus
God.
Christ. I couldn't believe what I was seeing in that moment. I'm like, what you got it back again? And now, oh
Up,
no.
up the jumper isn't thrown around enough anymore as a phrase.
Do you know what the problem is? The jerseys are too tight. Can't get it up the jumper.
Oh no.
that fr-
Yeah.
that phrase went out back when like Keith Wood was wearing a duvet. Do you remember? He used
What?
to wear like a horse throw. Do you remember like the back to
Yeah.
Keith Wood and Trevor Brennan days, and they had just a big old horse throw over him that was flapping in the wind. You could get the ball up the jersey then, but
Mm.
it beggars belief, and I'm just all I'm doing is repeating what you just said. Whereas I mean, everybody, anybody who wouldn't know anything about rugby go, but you're a point ahead. Like you have this, like you have
Yeah.
this. Now
Yeah.
close it down. Like a box kick would suggest that you're going on the attack. Fuck the attack. As Anna just said, feign contact and just hit the fucking deck as soon as somebody lays a finger on you.
Yeah.
Piling
And
over it, take another 15 seconds at a ruck with the big long legs. Do the same thing again. Frustrate the living shit out of them and just keep it in hand. My God, a minute and a half, like.
crazy, crazy, just crazy. The other thing then, which was the actual penalty that allowed Thomas Ramos, the fecker, to just tie it all up for the French, um, was a high tackle on a player that was going to ground. Now, because it was the end of the match, there was no replay.
Now, of
So,
course, well, there wouldn't be a fucking replay anyway in France.
well, yeah.
Jesus Christ. But apparently, because I was reading this morning, Brett Igo put up that it was actually from two phases earlier. But even that wasn't a high tackle either.
Yes, yeah, that it came from the TMO. So it looked really bad because it looked like it came in that moment. But then they never replayed that other one either.
No, it was just like, it's a tackle, penalty, fucking whatever. They didn't. It
Mhm.
was just like, accept that now. Accept that.
Yeah,
Like,
it was crazy.
but so brilliant. Like as if you just had just like there's a Polish guy I told you about him. He's so invested now in rugby and he hasn't a fucking clue what's going on. Which is it's a perfect sounding board to see what it's like for somebody who has no idea really what's going on. He's loving it. He's given up soccer. He can't abide it anymore because he thinks the Six Nations is this dramatic I said it's the best tournament in the world of anything, but yes, it's not normally this fucking dramatic, but it is class. But he's after watching this, investing like watching every single game through the Six Nations, all of it, and he's like, "This is the greatest game I've ever seen. Oh motherfuckers, this was fucking amazing. Oh my god."
Surely it should stay like this now
Wow.
because, well, we don't know what's going to happen with Borthwick, really. That might have saved his neck, but I don't know. But in reality, everyone should now be getting better. Like Wales seem to have sorted their their house. It seems, their kind of progression and improvement. Italy are in a really good space with that coach. Who are we missing? Oh, Scotland are an interesting one. Like, how are they? What's going to happen? What's going to happen there? Like, they've done enough, surely, as well to like how
Again, they are
how they're going to stay on.
they're the fucking Mayo of rugby, international rugby. Like they'll have more fucking bridesmaids dresses than this world. Like their All Ireland was against France. That's it. And now I think Ireland that was damn near the complete performance because better than better than England because England were on a downward trajectory anyway and they capitulated. Scotland didn't fully go away. Scotland have some world class players who were doing world class things, and Ireland still never looked like losing that match. Even though they came within twice, they came back and came within five. I just didn't see them baiting us. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
On factors around the field, it just seemed like we had their number just about everywhere. Just about. There was we had a couple of chinks in our armor, all right. Again, don't want to bang on the poor lad, but Gary Ringrose, we were texting, and it's like he's not at the races again. Like he's
Hmm.
shooting again for whatever reason, and he's not doing any of these canters he used to do. Do you remember he just break and Gary Ringrose is
No.
gone for 40 meters? Like
Yeah. Right. Well, we should keep into the Irish match, so we get
yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah. We'll skip into it. Just skip into it.
Um. Yeah, I know, but it's funny. I was watching Against the Head last night, and like now there's a lot of praise for Farrell and like Farrell's management of things, and I know I've been questioning my loyalty to Andy Farrell since the World Cup. To be honest, let's be honest. Um, there's a lot of like praise, and he's like, "Wow, he's managed them so well," and Jeepers, like he obviously has, and Ireland had such a you know steady progression, but also not everything was rosy, as we know. But now we've come out looking well, coming second, and lots of new young players. Like none of those players were put in ahead of other players. They were filling gaps. Now, a lot of injuries, obviously, like and fellas coming in for injuries. Very few were dropped. Like Ringrose should have been dropped. We could argue a lot, and since day one he could have been, but he wasn't. Um, Apparently, like Andy Farrell, like made a really good point to the younger players that like if you're coming in, well, younger players, not starting players, I'd say
Mm.
the we're calling them young, but let's say young in the jersey.
Yeah,
He said to them like a really great point about like just taking your opportunities and mentally it was a really good thing for those players because if you think about it, yeah, it was all the new or young players that were standing out in a massive way. Ulster, and we could probably talk about that as well in a minute, but those decisions weren't made because Andy Farrell is a genius. They were made because there
yeah.
were injuries.
It was very against his style.
And everyone, very against his style. And everyone's like, God, he's so great. It's after blood and new young players. He
Mm.
had to. I don't think he would have done it otherwise. And he obviously prepped them right because they had to go in. But when you go back and think of Josh van der Fleer and the Lions, who wasn't given a go in the third test, like, ah, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're still not convinced.
Still not convinced, but he managed it really well. Once the Prowley Prowley saga was done, um, uh,
He did.
he has managed it well.
I think. I mean, we're not privy to the inside thing. He does like we still shudder at the use of all the players this first team against Romania and whatnot in the World Cup. But he if that's his one failing when he whatever players he does get in front of him, whether it's forced by hand or whatever, they do seem to really like him. and work for him. Like whatever that is, like whatever the combo is of him speaking to them lads prior to Scotland, they completely they outplayed Scotland like nobody's business. Everybody on it, like to give. I mean, they're talking about the way he was dropping in and out Tommy O'Brien for Jacob Stockdale. Like these players are at the top end. When you do give them that, like, now it's saying that you saw England kicking the fucking ball away at 78 minutes. So it's not a given that high-end professionals are going to do brilliant things when you give them the opportunity. So he has some sort of tap in.
Yeah.
I think our line out has been our savior through the whole thing because it has been the one banker. We've lost fuck all line outs, really worth talking about. All our line outs have been working. This time, as a set piece, so if you come off that, the players are going to, they're going to truck well if that's working. We were still sputtering, and that's what my big problem was because our scrum wouldn't get going. We locked it at least the other day. We had parity, we'll call it. We had parity the other day, so we were able to work off that. I don't think that's
That's
not
all you need.
and that's it. But I don't think that's Andy Farrell's doing the line out or the scrum. So, and once you have outstanding players outside that, they should be able to do something. I mean, he gets all the plaudits, but I think some should go to the backroom staff who managed that side of things. You know what I mean? And there's no mistake. I text you about 20 minutes into the game. I was right about my conspiracy theory, and even you said, fair. Because they fucking did nothing a fancy against Wales. They just about gave a bog basic fucking home brand beans fucking on toast kind of a job. And then fucking Jack Crowley's pulling out every trick in the fucking book. The ruck time is so aggressive. It's so aggressive that they're able to get the ball away under 3 seconds nearly all the time. There was all sorts of cool who began it's happening, and none of them were happening against. I'm standing my ground and saying my conspiracy theory has some bit of grounding and I think they lulled Scotland into that. Scotland were like, oh no, we know how they do now because that's how they played their last match. And then Scotland weren't ready for what they were bringing. They fucking releasing like Balakoon. Holy shit! I don't think Matt Hansen scores that from that distance.
No.
Even if he's that pace, he doesn't have that weight. Like, because Darcy Graham was just hanging off him like, a bird just after hitting the grill of a fucking truck. Like,
yeah.
So
yeah. He did very well. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Do who gets back in of the players that were out injured? Shall we say that would have been starters typically?
That's the funny thing now, because who gets back in? All of those players have to be at their utmost best to get back in, and that's a great thing. So would you have so the back line that we had on Saturday, or backline, the World Cup backline at their best, both sets at their best? You'd go with the OGs, I think, would you?
I don't know. They didn't
Hansen at his best. Or, it's a different game plan as well, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and also here's the fucking thing. Here's the cold light of day. If you look at it from a business sense, they didn't get us beyond the World Cup quarterfinal. So,
but also, depends on these players' run of injuries now as well. Because let's face it, if you've Hugo Keenan, for example, coming back in. Or any of that back three, plus a Jacob Stockdale who's hanging around, probably pissed off. All it's going to do for all of those players is make them get better.
And that's the key to do it. Like, I mean, we were roaring for 3 fucking years for him to start rotating in some players, and it wasn't happening. His hand gets forced, and now all of a sudden the pot is way richer. The stew is so much richer now as a result of putting all them fucking players in, because everybody's going.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens is right. It's properly tick now. I don't know at outside centre where what our failings are. Why
Mm,
not? Why not start Big Tom Farrell against Wales? Like, do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Start him to fuck like.
But how much of a turn for the books is it really with Ulster? Like,
Oh, oh,
geez, it's
oh.
it, and all the talk for so long is, Leinster, Munster, Leinster, Munster. At least it is down here. Obviously, it's obviously, everywhere else the narrative is going to be more focused on your home province, but it has been very much between Leinster, Munster, Bundy Aki.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know so to see that evolvement and to see the Ulster players coming in, and like it's not just Rob Balakoon who's young and we hadn't seen too much of yet, but Stuart McCluskey had already seemed to have had his time in green, like to come back in. So whatever they're up to, it's obviously Werner Cock.
well, should we said this? Nothing to do with Richie Murphy. Nothing at all to do with Richie Murphy. Whereas
Why
apparently,
not so?
I tell you,
Yeah.
apparently your man Mark Sexton is unbelievable backs coach.
Oh yeah.
He's unbelievable, very French in his style. Apparently, of his coaching. He's supposed to be, and they love him. Do you know that kind of way? 'Cause I suppose you will love the fella if you're scoring tries and doing cool shit and beating defenders.
Well, that then as good as he obviously is technically and visually, etc., like that does come back to Richie Murphy as well in
Mm.
facilitating that. Do
Oh,
you
of
know,
course, yeah, yeah, yeah. He knows, yeah, he knows that he's the guy to leave at the backs. Like, yeah,
they just seem to have an unbelievable dynamic up there. And Jesus, I'd love to. Who are they playing in the next round of the Champions Cup?
it's not the cheaters. No, we're going to Munster are going to South Africa.
Hang on, let me look it up there.
They do. They have so much, and Tom O'Toole starting. He is rock solid. Fucking hell, the size of that man's
Yeah,
head. You're not beating a fellow with a head that big. He's
yeah,
built like a fucking tank.
yeah.
Um, but anybody that has produced your man Timony comes on, he's like the fucking Terminator.
Hmm.
No, I don't know how he started. Like
Termini, but we can call him Termini.
Terminy.
Also, did you notice that I only noticed this after the when I wrote to you about Tom O'Toole that it auto-corrected to Tom O'Tootle.
Why would it? Tootle? That's an
Tootle.
adorable name. That's an
I know. So he shall be henceforth known as Tom O'Tootle.
It's. Do you know what is funny? I had a memory, and while you were searching there, I had a memory of being in the Apple Green northbound on a Thursday one evening, heading to do a gig in Belfast. No, it was a Wednesday. I was doing two gigs in Belfast Wednesday, Thursday, and I remember seeing Ian Henderson, Tom O'Toole, and McCluskey sitting in there just eating Burger King because they were obviously sent home from Ireland training at the time, and that's where they were stopping, heading northbound, going, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, them days are behind them now. They're not going. They're still in fucking Carton House at that stage. Go on, who are they
Yeah.
playing next?
I have made an awful mistake. I thought they did qualify for Champions Cup and they bloody well
Oh no,
haven't.
they haven't. No, they're flying it in the what is it called? It's not the Champions Cup. It's called the other one, not the
Challenge
BT,
Cup.
the Challenge Cup.
Oh, calling it the Challenge Cup is like wrapping it up in a tin of beans.
It really is. It's a challenge for you guys. Give it a go.
So challenge, aren't you great? Um, Ulster versus Ospreys on the 4th of April.
And Munster have Exeter next, which I'd imagine that's when we'll see, Ty Byrne and Crowley back,
Hmm.
who you would hope bring that vibe back to Munster because Ty Byrne, my God,
Jeez.
Jesus, what they need to take some of his DNA. What the fuck is he made of? Like, what? He must have a spine made of steel or something. Like, he's just does he work out his fingers on a special fucking finger worker outer? He's just so good.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was so happy, and I was so happy they got the fucking commentators were so cocky. They got it so wrong when they keep on calling him Dara Murray. I'm like, it's Dara Murray. If he's,
Apparently it's Murray.
I'm not fucking saying Murray. I'm sorry. That's like something how British people mispronounce O'Mahony. No, it's Peter O'Mahony and it's Dara Murray. There we go.
But it's spelled the same as Conor Murray.
I
Like
know.
it's not like they haven't read this name before. Like it has to be Murray because of how people are pronouncing it. I've never heard it like that in my life. Hang on, let me look it up.
No, it's the same. And Andy Murray from fucking like
Really?
no. I'm not having any of this
Murray.
now. Murray shit. How's it spelled? If it's one R, I'll let him have it.
What's his name? Is Conor Murray. Like it, lump it, but learn it. It is Dara Murray. His name rhymes with today, Monday. A Connacht-based star, unlikely to forget his first taste of Six Nations rugby, arriving in. Can we talk about this, by the way?
What?
Dara Murray.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to get onto. Is that and we can jump backwards in a second, but
Yeah.
commentator was so sure that it was Caelan Doris. Oh, Caelan Doris, unbelievable! He's standing up, and it's like when the French don't give a fuck who they turn the camera to. Do you know the
Mm.
whole time when Sean O'Brien was playing, they just turn it to somebody else with a fucking scrum cap. But it was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, and then they're all patting Dara Murray on the back from Roscommon. They're patting him on the back, and it's like, oh, it's the new guy who's in for the blood substitution, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
But even flashed up on the screen, Galen Doris.
yeah. So,
But
but what a
yeah, go on.
what an unbelievable story.
But when he came in, like so we were a few points deep at this stage. We were like, "Who's this fella now?" Like,
I text
it,
you a picture of him, sure. I text you a
yeah,
picture
oh
during the
yeah,
week with the
yeah.
greatest mullet. He's just
It's
short of
such a shame he doesn't have that mullet anymore.
oh, so like if you stuck a fag in the corner of his mouth, he's my new president. Do you know what
If
I
he
mean?
stuck
Like,
his flag in the corner of his mouth and he still had the mullet, like
yeah,
the o-
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
other players would have just stood back to let him in to score the try. Because the thing is, if you watch it closely, he actually doesn't ground the ball at
No,
all.
I didn't think he grounded it actually. I didn't think he got it
It
down.
lands on the boot and then he loses control of it. Anyway, can turn around and run away. That's the best. That's the
Yep.
best way, and it's
Yeah.
exactly what he did. But when he came in, and he's a big guy, but you can tell you can tell he's a provincial player. I feel because
Oh
he
yeah.
is
He's stick thin
skinnier.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, he's skinnier and like he straight into 5 meter defense. And we were all like, oh my God, the poor young fellow. Oh,
Yeah, I know
Jesus.
he's gonna get broke up like.
Yeah, they're going to run at him like you'd be shitting yourself. Like, what a baptism of fire. Like, 5 meter defense, try line defense. And he was hits and ups and hits and ups. And we were like, we were really empathizing with him. You know, we were like, oh my God, this poor young fella. And then the try, and then the fact that he was called Caelan Doris, and then he was taken off again. It was
And
just
he got a block down as well.
beautiful.
Did he get a block down during that 10 minute that spell as well? I think he got a block down.
Could have done. I can't remember.
But he must have shown something to leapfrog Edwin Adogbo. Do you know what I mean? And other fellas who would have been like I know they brought down Ian Henderson all right for a bit of a train to look at him, but he must have
Mm.
been shown like unbridled fucking fury on the training pitch, running around
Well,
milling everybody.
if I had a haircut like that,
Yeah,
I'd be running around milling everybody. So it's obviously in him anyway. Do you know, if you're
yeah.
gonna
There's a
grow,
wild
and
streak. Yeah,
anyone who hasn't seen it, like this is probably the greatest mullet you've ever seen. Like long, long, long curls down his back.
like yeah, like Joe is only messing at it. Well, no, Joe has a mullet. In fairness to him, but this mullet is like Dog the Bounty Hunter stuff, like, isn't it?
When did he cut it? I'm gonna look that up.
I was very disappointed to see him. Like, he would be an instant cult hero if he ran onto the pitch. No sleeves on the jersey either. That's instant cult hero.
Dara Murray
Nope.
had his famous mullet shaved off in early January 2023. Oh,
Fucks.
the Connacht. Stop. This is unbelievable. The Connacht rugby player cut his hair for charity following a game against the Sharks with the locks donated to the Little Princess Trust to make wigs for children while raising money for Laura Lynn Children's Hospital and Mayo Roscommon Hospice.
That's yeah. I cut mine off, but it didn't get half for charity, but it didn't get half the profile. My wife actually did that, is doing that again this year. She's cutting her hair for the
Oh,
little princess.
no way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She doesn't have a mullet, just saying. But
But so it says here that his hair was grown since lockdown in early 2020. So he had hair that long in 3 years.
yeah, it's stunning. It's actually stunning like that. But that's the Roscommon in him. You see, they have very good hair in Roscommon.
Hmm.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
know that, but I've gigged there a good few times. Quite good hairlines on a lot of people in Roscommon.
Okay,
Don't
good to know.
don't know is it the bog or what it is that does it, but he must be showing that unbridled youthful confidence going around absolutely pile driving into people at training for them to go, do you know what? Against Scotland in the fucking final round of the Six Nations, we're putting you on the bench. From nowhere at all. Never heard of him before coming up to training or even a possibility. No chat about him. Straight in. I love that shit. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I'll commend if he is to be if it is his call, that could be nearly Andy Farrell's proudest moment and the one I'll give him a thumbs up on. If he made that call, I'll go, all right, Andy. Maybe you've turned a new leaf. Because if you found that young fella and just went, man up, man to fuck, man away up to Dublin, and
Yeah.
put him on the bench against Scotland in the final round of the Six Nations.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Agree.
Kudos on
Agree.
that one. Maybe Andy Farrell's listening to the pod and going, fuck it, you know what? The two lads are right. The two lads are right.
Yeah.
We can't. I know we've waxed lyrical as Pat Kenny would say, but I thought Jack Crowley was class. He was class. The class we knew he could be, but it looked like he was sucking fucking diesel the other day.
Hmm.
Like more than I love tackling. I love seeing good tackling. But you see when he got ran down by Tubeloto, and then the next time round he made it around and went nah, and he fucking hammered into him. I love that. It was like yeah, fucking class. Do you
Yeah.
know that there's something deadly about seeing backs that you wouldn't normally see plowing into people. There's something deadly about that, especially your out half who should be minding himself, and normally they do mind themselves. But I was just so impressed with him, the way he seemed to be running things and kind of throwing a bit of bollocking around the place. I can't wait to see if they allow him to develop how good he's going to get. Because he's tackling way better than Sexton ever could, or O'Gara. Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I
But
wonder,
like that, yeah, go on.
I wonder, did he did you hear about it? Rod just fucking bit of a scathing fucking thing during the week. Like, I wonder did he hear of it? Gone and then just text O'Gara in the morning, "Fuck you," and went out and
Hmm.
absolutely played his socks off against Ireland and put
Yeah.
O'Gara in a big leather reclining chair, sat there with a cigar, just going,
It
"Well,
worked.
it worked." Just petting a cat like a real furry cat. It
Hmm.
worked. Well done, my child.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
in an ever knowing way, like.
Yeah. I think that is actually what happened.
I think that's what happened anyway. Yeah, I'm glad you agree because that's the way I saw it rolling out for me. Um,
I just, I don't think we could have ever predicted that Jack Crowley would have been at these heights.
when not at,
Uh,
not at the beginning of the tournament, you couldn't. When we were all
not at
pulling
the
the
beginning of the
whole
tournament.
world was pulling their hair out, going, "What way have you done this? Like this is
The
arse
only,
over head. The way you've
the
done
only,
this."
the only thing that saved him were Ireland's poor performances earlier on in the tournament. It's the only thing that saved Jack Crowley, really.
Which, by pure correlation, fortunes changed for Ireland when he started fucking playing. From the last 20 minutes against Italy onwards, Jesus Christ, didn't we get much better? How did that come about?
But that's also again why I still have this question mark over Andy Farrell. Like,
Same as that. It's like his hand has been forced a bit. But then he's like almost overcompensated by doing pure Razzie Erasmus shit. Finding fucking Dara Murray in Roscommon and then bringing six on at one time. Like, this is pure Razzie shit. What the fuck are you doing? What? Okay. All right. He brought
I
six on.
mean,
You never see it. Like, only you see it from Razzie.
yeah, but if that's, do you know? if that's the Andy Farrell that has been kind of pressure building diamonds kind of a thing. And like I always said, like, because I don't want to dislike Andy Farrell, but it just, these question marks just haven't really been answered for me. I've always said that I'd be happy for him to have learned from that to then, for things to count down the line. And it does look like he is learning in spite of himself.
But sure, isn't that is it has to happen. Technically, this is his first head coach gig. So he's got to keep on getting better and better. Do you know what I mean? Sure, there is a stale point that does happen to everybody from Eddie Jones to Joe Schmidt. There's a stale point. But if he was seeing that, like if as you said, his hand was being forced, he might have dodged the stale bullet with a couple of fresh lads that are after coming in.
Well, yes. In which case he has, Crowley to thank for a lot of that. And yeah, the injuries of the other players.
But
So
yeah, but
yeah.
it's I think the most important player. I mean, they'll talk forever about Jamison Gibson Park, but the most important player is always going to be the number 10. And everybody's mood comes up. Like there's like, and this again with a great sounding board and what they'd say, call it in science. I suppose they call it like your constant or your stabilized zone, your stabilized station where you just work from nothing. Is the Polish lad Rafa, and he's only properly watching this year. He's going, why the fuck are they not starting the Jack Crowley, the Jack? Why the fuck? Why the fuck? Everything fucking change. Fucking blind fucking man see this. Good of a fucking and fucking why not start this other man waving at fucking the sky looking for fucking nothing. Be fucking flapping for butterflies. Why? I went, I know. But everything change. Fucking stupid man. Everything fucking changes as soon as Jack Crowley start. I know this. I know. But so he's not tainted by other pre-seasons. Doesn't care about other Six Nations, Grand Slams, nothing. He's looking at this season, and from his very unlearned point of view, it's beautiful to see it because it's like, yep, you're right. Yep, that's exactly it. Is
But
that
even the girls in France, which is a kind of a similar thing because they don't give a damn about any of the other teams. They barely give a damn about France. Like they'd watch a lot of rugby, but they're not really watching it, I feel. They're like, eh. So they're like, they were saying to me, like, oh, is that your man? Basically. I was like, no, that's not. And they were like, oh, okay. They just knew all about the Prendergast saga and just how much he was
Jesus, even
underperforming.
they knew about it.
Even they knew about it. I know you remember my first kind of experience of watching rugby with them was France versus New Zealand, the first round of the World Cup, and I was dying with excitement. And we like put it on in the club and everything. None of them were watching it.
That's hilarious. Like, couldn't give a shit.
Yeah. No. But oh sugar, I thought of something else there now. Do you know, and I meant to text you in advance, so we might have to do this kind of hot off our heads, but a peak and pit of the tournament.
Yeah, I suppose Pitt was the abomination that went on, and not naming either player, the abomination that went on in the decision making between Sam and Jack. When we all know the world over where you start the apprentice on the fucking bench. Do you know what I mean? That's where you start. That for me was a proper head in hands going, I'm not watching no more of this fucking tournament. And the peak for me was watching, and I could say Jack Crowley, but I'm not. I'm going to say the full tournament watching the Galactico, the tank, what is it, the Lefridge, or whatever they're calling him, McCluskey. I love his story. I love it. He's the fucking Cinderella man. Like, he's finally getting, his flowers. He's 33. Everybody, and he's playing like a fucking 23-year-old, pulling off cool shit that only a bloke who's seen a million minutes could do. Do you know?
Yeah.
He's like when he caught that ball, was it a rip or did it bounce off fucking Tuipulotu's head or something?
Oh,
I, but he
oh,
caught it,
so philosophy.
but in the blink of an eye, switched hands and flung it over the top to Tommy O'Brien because he could see the space. Do you know? Now it helps being 6'5". He can see the space over the top of everybody, and knew Tommy the Rocket was going to be there. And Tommy takes off, and his spiky hair like a young rabbit is flapping in the wind, and he scores. For me, whether player of the tournament or not, I don't care. That's my peak, is watching him just playing with a fucking smile on his face, doing cool shit. So that's, yeah, those are my peak and pit. Yeah.
Um, I probably have very similar. My pit was actually kind of very specifically. Do you remember the opening round was on a Thursday?
Yeah.
And then there was the Friday off, and then the rest of the rugby, and then the whole week. It was just this extended period of the feeling after that French game. Because
Yeah.
I didn't mind the actual game too much because France were really enjoyable to watch. But the dissection of Ireland that went on from the Thursday night the whole week until the following week was particularly bad.
Yeah.
Um, and all of the question marks and everything and all that, yeah, it was awful. That first week was like obviously because we lost anyway, but just the nature of the Thursday night game made it so much worse. Um, and then my peak, I still think my peak might have been well because I was there as well, the England game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that performance against England was just, and all this talk of England were going to come out of the traps because they'd been like, whooped by Scotland the week before, and Ireland weren't in great shapes. Like that was the first sign that Ireland they still had the flames in a jar. And that, yeah, that, and the replays of the Stuart McCluskey chase down of Marcus Smith were so enjoyable
I
after that
never, I
weekend.
never got bored of it. I never got bored of it.
Oh my God. And I feel like particularly him running that clip being played alongside the soundtrack to Olivia Dean.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that might have been my peak of the tournament. Watching that with the song Rain Me In. Yeah.
I watched prior to the show Collins the other night. I had a discussion about Beamish
Hmm.
with Padraig Comic that was running the door for me, or for the club, I should say. And I said, "You're Beamish," mate. He goes, "Yeah, fuck it, I can't be drinking that out. Guinness scutter, I can't be drinking it." I went, "Oh." I said, yeah. He's just, I mean, so many factors. Is it's the whole, their origins. I don't like the Guinness family, and now it's owned by an Italian crowd. And so Beamish is he says, here's the real thing, Tom. My arse to be in an awful state after 4 or 5 pints of it. Beamish, never a problem. Well, I says, waiting, I tell you. And I told him about how Twickenham, you were telling me. He goes, oh, I listened to the pod, yeah. Yeah, he says, he's the entire... a few people at the show, actually, shout out to ye, pod listeners, they were delighted. And there was 2 pod listeners sitting behind us who behind the audience when we went to watch the game. But yeah, he was like, go away. Was it real? I said, the whole place smelled like a septic tank. Just
Everyone was going around like this.
dirty arses. Like it was such like Guinness need to sort that out. Like they need to get their scientists in the fucking lab working out why people's holes, and you can't put 80,000 people plus the pubs, surrounding pubs.
You know what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to do a collab with Kneecap.
Febreze.
Kneecap, so that they start giving out the tricolour balaclavas to block people's nose so that you don't have to smell the Guinness farts. Because I'd say it's gone beyond science at this stage. Like,
yeah. Well, here's the alternative. There was it was during I don't know, it was sometime last year in London. Was it through an event? I don't know. But Guinness supply had stopped for whatever reason. They'd been.
oh yeah.
But so what did Beamish do? shipped out trucks galore on an immediate freight. Beamish got it out and have now gotten in where anywhere where Island's Edge was put into pubs. Beamish now are starting to get in there now. Yeah, Beamish is a
Yeah.
cracker of a drink,
Cracker.
and by all accounts, no dirty bum. Don't know, don't
Interesting.
know. Yeah, it'd have to be put to the test now.
But Murphy's, I don't know if you remember, Murphy's supplied the World Cup in 2015.
Oh, did they?
They did. So
R-
everyone was looking for Guinness, but getting Murphy's.
Oh,
Mm.
fair.
So I'd say that that brought a few Murphy's drinkers on board, or they'd recognise it a bit more now. But in general, in the UK at least, you'd get Beamish as the alternative stout.
Yeah, well, there you go. You were saying that Guinness went all out with their advertising and stuff. I think it's time now. And that's if I was Beamish, that is my marketing plan. I would say drink Beamish, cleaner bum. Just I can't believe we talked about the horses, and at no point did I go, "Who's taking the horse to France?" Now we know the name of this evening show. There's no other name. Who's taking the horse to France? No
Yeah,
other fucking name but it.
yeah,
Anyway, greatest Six Nations in its 25, 20/26 years. I think it is.
yeah. Greatest Six Nations
It's got
ever.
it had every bit of drama. I think like that it drew in people like Polish. It drew in people that would have never clapped eyes or given a shit
Mm.
about the sport. If they can just, as you said, um, start cutting out some of the box kicking. Just cut it down, lads. We're not saying get rid of it altogether. Bring back in Gary Owens if you want. At least
Mm.
there's a bit more dynamic movement in a Gary Owen. You're running, you're fucking launching it up there, and everybody's having a go. But this fucking box kick, carry on. As
So
Joe Marler once shouted in a match, it's fucking boring.
you're boring me. Yeah. So yeah, that's our project now, is to outlaw box kicking and outlaw Sweet Caroline in the Aviva Stadium.
Yes, because whoever's running the PA clearly works at some nursing home. Um, what the?
No, I will say Sweet Caroline has its place in rugby. And I I learned it when I was playing in England because they sing it in English clubs, on English tours. Like that's where I learned it. I didn't learn it in Ireland. And yeah, you can always take things that you learn, but I feel like it's a very English rugby song. And then, and even, do you know what? The French girls, again, this will tell you now, they'd, they'd tag me in things, or they'd put on music, or they'd say like, oh, this is your song. And it would be Sweet Caroline. I'm like, oh, Les Anglais, the English love this song, sending it to me. Like, I'm like,
Oh
lads,
Jesus!
oh, very bad. But
That's another
so
Jesse Buckley moment there.
oh, I know. I picked a bone with a fella next to me in the pub, and I was like, I heard they were playing Sweet Caroline. He was like, yeah, but it's grand. Like, it's good
Fucking
crack
not
and
great. It's
whatever.
fucking.
But then, do you know what he followed up with? I was like, oh, I don't know. He was like, it would have been nice to hear Zombie. It's like, so you're telling me they're playing Sweet Caroline instead of Zombie? What a reaction.
Apparently, like I was listening to an interview well after the game, and they were playing Zombie. Sure, I say the lads were sweeping the fucking steps at that stage.
Bundyaki started it apparently with a microphone. I saw a clip today where Bundy was singing on the field into a microphone, Zombie.
But that makes
So
perfect sense for his 3 minute cameo. In all fairness to him, he ran around like a mad bulldog. It was great to see.
yeah,
It's great to see. Um, Best ever. And listen, sure, we're only finished one, we're into another. It was lovely. We only have a small old breather. Um, and Ireland are first up against England. And they're playing in the big house. They're playing in I'm saying Twickenham. Fuck it. I know it's Allianz.
oh yeah,
But
no, too much insurance involved.
that's awful.
Um,
Awful. Let's just say Twickers. Now I
Vickers,
wonder
yeah,
what. Be very interested because it's going to be another packed house. Will the Guinness situation be as bad? Do you think at the women's one? I'm hoping maybe we
good
get
question.
maybe we get Beamish on board for the women's Six Nations.
No, because it's Guinness Six Nations.
Fuck. It is Guinness Six Nations. Oh, it's going to be
I'll
dirty,
do.
dirty
I'll be
bums
doing.
all around.
I'll be doing research in Twickenham myself that weekend. So yeah, well it starts on April 11th. It's nice, like a little bit of provincial stuff to get back into, but yeah, we don't have long to wait. And I just after the how good this one was for the men's side of things, I just hope it feeds into the women's now, like
Well, look,
that excitement.
it they often, for one reason or another, different things tend to go hand in hand. And like the 20s was
Oh,
yeah, cracking Six Nations as well. So,
I have to say that we had to shout for England again after the 20s, after Ireland beat Scotland in the 20s. I went down to it myself and Aoife Mac, took the train down to Cork and went to the 20s. It was great.
brilliant.
Um, yeah, it was great. Like, because we know a few of the people involved, we just wanted to go and support it. It was great. Tri-Fest, great, like, great rugby. Really enjoyed it. But, oh yeah, that's why I texted you. I was like, there was a really nice moment where, just maybe a lull in the match. I actually think it might have been like during play over the tannoy. Someone announced, if you're parked in Woodies, they're clamping. And the whole crowd was like, way.
I love the parochial vibe of that, though. If you,
Yes, me too.
I
I'd
love
love
that. I
I'd love
love
to see
that.
them doing that in the Aviva.
Do you know the lads? Just actually open with lads. Have you a ticket on the car? Because that cunt is going around. Do you know? Oh, I love that. They're clamping in Woodies. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
meanwhile, fucking Keith Wood is going. What? I'm not. Oh no, oh, no. Woody's the hardware show. Oh right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Is his son? You don't pick up as much on the telly. Um, I don't think the camera shots are as good. They're down on the level a bit more.
Yeah.
Is, he looks like he's got all the bag of tricks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he played very well at the weekend as well. Um, Probably the best definitely the best I'd say that I've seen him play all tournament. Even though he was good in Bath as well against the English, but in general the performance was better. But that little 9-10 partnership,
Mm.
um, little Munster partnership there, with Christopher Barrett as well at nine, like I'd love to see them as the future 9-10 partnership of Ireland. They're great, showing great promise, like fantastic little players. Great kind of Casey Crowley vibe off them, to be honest. Um, and he's the real deal, Tom Wood, I reckon.
Brilliant. Great. Well,
Yeah.
we know Munster are off to are gone to South Africa already, so they play next weekend. Are they playing the Bulls on? I think it's the Bulls, is it? At the weekend.
I don't
It's the
know.
Hollywood Bets Sharks.
Oh,
Hollywood.
yeah.
I can't. I can't.
That's Durban. That's
Dur-
Durban.
Durban. So they're gone. They're gone. We won't see our internationals back. I'd say until the extra match. But sure, look at we'll we're flabbergasted after the weekend. I'm still wondering who brought the horse to France. But I did notice that Antoine Dupont's, and you were right. You were right when you were on about it. I think some of his power is going back the way a bit since the whole hair is starting to thin out. He,
Yeah, I wonder what's his power attached to his hair.
I'd say now, as you said, look at our trip to Turkey, get a few new bits stapled in, see where he's at. Nah,
But in France, you don't even have time to go to the toilet in between the seasons.
yeah, right enough, right enough. But they did,
Like,
they'd let him go. They'd let him go for a morning just to get the hair done. They'd
get
probably,
his
do you know
hair
what?
done.
They'd fly him in for him. They'd chopper in the Turkey lads with a big bag full of fucking Dara Murray's hair.
Yeah, maybe Dara Murray's hair might be used on Antoine Dupont's head, and he gets back some of his superpowers.
We need to clip this bit, put it into some AI algorithm, and make that happen. Give
Antoine Dupont,
And
the hair
Dara
cut.
Murray's hair pre-cut in 2023. We need to
Yeah.
see that mullet on. Oh my God. I mean, a new level of fucking amazement. Hey, listen, let's hit the bricks. Mind the rooks.
Mind the rocks.
It's the Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.